My name's Emma and I'm from Brides in France, and we are an online resource tailored to helping international couples find English-speaking suppliers. This way you can communicate your wedding dream effectively and we can make those dreams a reality. In the next series of videos, we are going to be sharing with you some of our top amazing suppliers. And in today's video, we're going to be starting with Alexandra Raphael, who is our top wedding planner based in the northern part of France, covering Paris, Normandy, the Champagne region, and many more places. France is the most beautiful place to get married, and it's Alex's dream to make sure that everybody has the perfect day. She's such a perfectionist and such a wonderful personality. And here's what she has to say and what advice she brings to all of you couples looking to marry in France. So what would you say to any couples now that are not quite sure whether to get married in France or not? What would you say to them to make them feel more at ease?
Well, I would say that, the main thing is just to live the best day of their life, or one of the best day of their lives. And for that, it's, how could I say that in English? I think that the only thing with this kind of wedding is just to come and have a mini vacation with their guests and enjoy time and be relaxed and have a friendly time during a weekend. So just keep that for you. I mean, like a bride and a groom, and just contact a wedding planner just to make sure that she will be able to do everything you don't want to do, everything you don't have the time to do. Okay, just make sure that she or he, because we have some also wedding planners, destination wedding planners will do everything. They will make things perfect for the wedding. And then for the bride and the groom and the guests, they just have to enjoy, just come in France, have a rest, have an amazing time, good food, good wine, cheese, champagne, just relax.
Yeah, and can you, obviously we know a bit about the legalities of getting married in France. Sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult trying to reside there for 40 days prior. So a lot of our couples tend to get married prior to coming to France, but actually celebrate their wedding. Can you, if they did decide that they wanted to actually have the legal side done in France, is that something you could help them with too?
Yeah, we can, but the thing is that it's very difficult in France, obviously, because you have to live in France for 40 days before you get married, okay, legally. So to be honest with you, 100% of my brides and grooms are getting married legally in their country.
So they just get the paperwork done, but really celebrate their wedding once they get to France.
Well, yes, it's really, they are doing small ceremonies, okay, in the UK or in the United States, they are doing the civil marriage, I would say, in their country. It's a small event, okay. They don't do a lot of things for that ceremony. They just have their maybe bridesmaids and groomsmen, their parents, brothers and sisters, but it's very small. But all of them are just talking about their UK weddings, for example, and the French wedding. So they are making the difference,
Yeah, they're getting two days. They're getting a bit more fun out of it.
So it's really administrative, I think, when they're getting married legally in their country. It's really for the paperwork, and the only thing they are thinking about is the real French wedding, the big day.
Yeah. And one thing I always remember is, most weddings tend to be, like a 3 or 4 day break. So having, the day you arrive, a little welcome party or a barbecue, and then they have the wedding, and then they have the day after to unwind just before they then go off and travel home. So that 4 days is so relaxing, and they don't have to rush around and see everyone on that one day because they've spent the weekend with them, and it just makes it so much easier and just so chilled out. And that's one thing I love about France, is that you just come in, and the minute you get off the plane or you get into the country, everything just relaxes. So again, having a planner keeps you relaxed and happy, because all that extra stress of planning and doing is already done by yourself. So
it's already done. It's already done. And I mean that, well, they it's really like you just explained, you know, they are just arriving, like maybe 70, 80, 100 guests, and they're just spending 3 or 4 days in a country that they love, because all of them love France, you know,
Yeah.
and they're just relaxing during 4 days, and they know that there is someone on the wedding they can rely on, you know.
Yeah.
And just for that reason, because we are staying with them all the time. For me, with my client, I'm staying from the beginning to the end. So if I have to stay 3 days, I stay 3 days with them, you know. So this give them the opportunity really, and their guests as well, just to relax, really relax, as from the very beginning to the end, you know. And this is really
France, isn't it? That is France. It's just known for that. It's just the tranquility, it's the relaxing.
Absolutely.
It's just
absolutely. And that's why I'm feeling all the time. It's just when I see all the families in France, just to be like they were in a vacation, you know, and say, oh my God, so wonderful, and I love that country. And yeah, you see it, you know, in their faces. They are so happy and relaxed. And this is for me what makes the success of the wedding, you know, because obviously we have a perfect wedding, but just seeing people enjoying this time all together, because for some of them it's been a long time they haven't seen each other's, you know.
Reunions, so, especially with destination, because sometimes they've got family coming from UK, from America. There was sort of big reunion going on.
Yes, so it's very, very nice just to see them enjoying this time all together and laughing and well, just, I don't know, just being themselves, you know, without the stress. And that's really amazing. That's really amazing. Yeah. So it's very, very helpful, I would say, for a bride and groom who wants to get married in another country. Then they don't know, you know, just to have someone local speaking English, speaking French, who is able just to communicate with the vendors, and
which is really important, isn't it? When someone's getting married, when the bride's getting married abroad, they just want to be able to have their wedding dream and being able to communicate it effectively, and having you that's bilingual and speaking and Portuguese as well. We could throw that one in.
I'm speaking able to Portuguese.
Have the languages that you've got will just take the weight off their mind, and they can just relax knowing that you've understood what they're looking for, and then you can go off and communicate to the suppliers that are helping you. Do you work with sort of regular suppliers in the local areas that you cover, or do you go off and find people kind of suited to the couple?
Well, I would say that because I'm only working on bespoke weddings, you know, I have a network with me, obviously. I have a big network of French, but also international suppliers. Why? Because some of my couples really need, I would say, to communicate easily with some suppliers. I'm thinking about, for example, the photographers. I need to have bilingual suppliers as well, you know. So it means that if I think that's a vendor that I can find in the UK or in Portugal or anywhere else, you know, in the world, that could suit really for that wedding, I will just work with them. So I'm not closed, you know, because I'm traveling a lot for my weddings. I'm not staying, you know, in my region. And
which areas do you cover, Alexandra?
So I really cover the, you know, the northern France, all the northern France. So I can go from Normandy to Champagne region, to the south of Paris, to the north, very north of France. This is mainly the regions I'm really covering. Then I have some couples who, when they come from the United States, for example, they don't make any difference between Champagne region and Southwest, for example, because France is so small. So they say, oh, we don't know, we would like to go maybe in Champagne, maybe in Southwest, you know. So
open to suggestions from you. They don't come specifically and just say Paris, you know, the Eiffel Tower, the romance, the love. They're quite open to what you suggest.
Yeah, because they are, I think they are asking for a lot of regions. They don't they love French regions, because in this country we are lucky enough to have really beautiful regions such as Normandy, very famous for them, you know, for the Americans. It's very, very famous.
And Honfleur, you've got Honfleur there as well.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it.
So nice, of course. And a lot of people like really, really love Champagne region as well, you know.
Has some of them champagne.
And champagne, of course, of course. So, and some of them, they just want to be in Paris, you know, because they love the city. So just to reply your previous questions about the vendors and the locations and everything, I mean that as soon as I have a request from a couple, we are really working as from the beginning on the wedding of their dream. They are dreaming of, they are thinking of, okay? And beginning from that, we start working on the projects. So we may decide just to find some venues in Normandy or Champagne, and then choose which one we're going to do. But you have maybe 5 or 7 hours driving, you know, between them. So my role is also, excuse me?
You can do that for them.
I do that for them, of course.
That's amazing.
I do, because they are living very far from France, okay? So obviously I'm not going to ask them just to come 2 days.
7 hours drive. So really, that's really good that you include that.
Yeah, so what I do, and this is really the way I'm working with them, is first of all, I'm going to make a selection of venues depending on the regions that they like. So if I have to go first in Normandy to make a first selection for venues in Normandy, and 1 week after, if I have to go in Champagne just to scout the venues, you know, in Champagne, I will. And then I give them a selection. And after that only, they will be able to come in France, and we will visit the venues together, maybe 3, 4, 5 venues together, so that they can make their choice, you know. But really what I'm trying to do is to make them save time. I mean, as from the very beginning, you know, the most important for us is really, and for me, is really to firstly understand exactly what they need, what are their wishes, their dreams, what they want, what they need, their expectations, and then we built really the wedding project together.
Oh, that is brilliant. And do you have specific kind of themes that the brides like? Do they all go for the chateaus, or do you have any other types of venues like barns? And do they go rustic and obviously outdoors, al fresco weddings?
Yeah, I must admit that usually the requests are not so different from each other's. Okay, so a lot of my brides and grooms as well, but very often the brides decide for the venue.
We do that.
Yeah, and they really love rustic venues. I mean, but that's very funny, because what they call rustic, they mean French chateau.
Yeah.
And so we have, when we say chateau, I mean it's more like traditional family house, you know, where everybody can be accommodated. I don't know if I can say that in English, but you know, they can stay in you.
Yeah, because obviously you have the chateaus that maybe sleep up to, you know, 20 or 30, or a bigger domain that can sleep more. Do you find other accommodation nearby the venue and the transport and everything?
Yes, yeah, because when you plan a destination wedding, it's a bit different from what I call a local wedding. I mean, for example, for a French couple getting married in France, okay, just in their area. For destination weddings, I mean that obviously we have to plan the best wedding ever, okay? But first of all, the most important thing will be the venue first, and then the accommodation, because all the guests will travel from all over the world. So first thing, to make sure that the project is feasible, you know, is to make sure that we can have someone sleeping at the venue or really nearby the venue. So this is, I would say, maybe one of the first steps that I'm doing on the planning, you know, on the planning process.
It is the most important, isn't it? Because once the venue's secured, then the date's secured. And once you've got the date, that's when you can start going out and speaking to your suppliers.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is very important as well. And I also communicate a lot with the guests. They are contacting me, you know, for the hotels and the transports, and my role. Sorry.
That's a really good idea, actually. Really good that you can actually speak to them as well, because that gives them peace of mind, not just obviously for the couples, that you can liaise with the guests and the family as well. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm in contact with the families and the friends as well.
Your email must be pinging all the time. You're pinging.
Yeah, yes, I know, and during the night as well, because we have, you know, sometimes I have a big time difference, so I'm receiving messages in the night, say, hello, I'm I don't know, this bride's friend, and how about the taxi, or can you help me for the accommodation? And I'm just sleeping and say, oh yeah, of course I can help.
That brings back memories. And obviously I know you're a bit of a perfectionist, so I can imagine you don't relax and really settle down until you've got it spot on.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to relax, I must admit. Yeah.
And what about budget? Do you have venues that suit all budgets, or do you kind of work towards a certain particular type of budget?
I don't have budget limits, and I don't want to put some limits on budgets. I mean that, how could I explain that? I'm not going to just, be closed in a minimum budget, for example, because it will be different. If you have only 10 guests on the wedding, it will be different, you know, from a wedding where you have 100 guests. So again, I'm really working on the other side, you know. I mean, I'm going, first of all, to study the budget, the global budget, to make sure that it's okay for the bride and the groom. And then we will plan the wedding on respecting that budget. Okay. So regarding the venues, it can be very different from a region to another, you know. So I know that in Champagne region, we have very beautiful venues with very correct prices, you know. I don't know if I can say that, reasonable prices. In Normandy, it will be maybe a bit more expensive. It's in Paris, it will be really, really more expensive.
A little bit. Can you adapt your business to work around all the multicultural weddings that come to France?
Well, I would say that mainly they want to keep the French touch. Okay, they want, if they come in France, it's really because they want to have a French wedding with the French elegance, French touch, good food, good champagne, wine, cheese, you know. So they really, really want to keep this French touch really on the wedding. But some of them are just bringing some traditions. I mean that on my clients, around my clients, you know, I have a lot of, they are all international, you know, they are coming from abroad anyway. So I have some couples who bring some traditions that are very, very nice. I'm thinking most of all about, you know, my brides coming from Asia. They do like, you know, the tea ceremony.
That's right. Yes, I had a Vietnamese bride who had a tea ceremony first.
Yeah,
and they have beautiful red gowns, don't they? And
exactly, they have the traditional gown, and the ceremony itself is with a lot of emotions, you know, because it's something. This is a ceremony where they are celebrating the Chinese weddings, of course, but where they are honoring their parents and their relatives. So it's like a symbol, you know, of, if I remember well, for the tea ceremony, it was like stability, purity, fertility. This weekend, I have an English wedding in France this weekend in the south of Paris, and the bride is Bulgarian.
Oh,
She's lovely. She's so lovely. She's really, how could I say? She's amazing. Well, and she's Bulgarian. So we are doing a French wedding, okay, but we are including a Bulgarian tradition, which is we call that, they call that the bread breaking. Okay, so the couple just stand with their back against each other, okay, and they place a big bread above their heads, and they have to break the bread, okay. And the tradition says that whoever in the couple breaks the bigger part of the bread will take command in the family. All right, so they're just standing like this, and they try to break the biggest part of the bread. And for this weekend, the bread will be cooked by the bride's grandma. Yeah.
So it's all a whole family affair.
Yeah. So the mom and the grandma will cook the bread in the morning, or the day before, I don't remember when exactly, but they're doing that on site, and they will use this bread during the wedding. And we will do this tradition, Bulgarian tradition, when the bride and the groom will just break the bread just above their head, So yeah, this is like traditions like this that the couples can bring, in the French wedding they are planning.
Yeah, you learn a lot as well. You learn a lot about tradition and culture when you're doing it at Dania. I can imagine. Well, I remember I remember having 32 different brides one year from 32 different countries, and that was just my most educational journey that year. I remember obviously working in the wedding industry in France myself, that coming over to France is very daunting. Maybe some of the couples haven't actually been to France before, and how are they going to communicate? How are they going to work all this out, especially when they're not there? So I've always been a fan of wedding planners, because it just takes everything out of what they have to worry about. And then on the day as well, if you're planning your own wedding, that's fine, but you can't kind of sit down, have your hair and makeup done and relax, because you're also running around doing all the planning and organizing on the day as well. So you go in on the day and you do all the coordination on the day. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here because for the destination weddings, it's not only one day, I would say that 100% we have a rehearsal dinner or welcome dinner. And most of the couples want a brunch. So I'm working for one wedding. I mean that it's more 3 days at minimum, maybe 4, it depends. I have some couples who want to include a full day with activities. I mean, visiting a champagne house or visiting Paris.
Wine tasting, cheese.
Wine tasting. Yeah, exactly. So, well, I'm really staying with them. As from if the wedding is, during a real weekend, I'm staying with them as from the Friday to the Sunday or the Monday.
Yes, like lots of weekend breaks. That's a great job. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's very important, because apart from and beyond the planning process, I mean, well, our job is to plan weddings. So obviously we have to do it perfectly and manage weddings perfectly, okay? But most of all, the relationship with the bride and the groom and with the family as well, because I'm really very often in contact with the parents, with the brothers and sisters, with the bridesmaids, and we are really chatting, very often all together, okay? So I think that the relationship is really, really important. And for me, this is the most important, because doing a good job is one thing. This is our job, okay? But just be able to stay with the bride and the groom and to say, okay, you just have to relax and I'm here. And just to hear them saying, oh my God, you are here. And that's enough for us, Exactly.
And that is what I know brides in the past that have worked with you have said. They all really trust you, and you're very down to earth and bubbly, and you get on with the families, and that is,
Yeah.
you need, as well as obviously knowing that you've executed a wedding perfectly. You know, to be able to deliver your
That's very
personality and
important.
your fun as well. So with that, I noticed that you're a bit of an Aerosmith fan.
Yes. Oh my God, I love them.
Do you
I
get to
love.
have a little dance in the evening to some of the music in the evening once you've kind of finished and can relax yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of time to relax during nights because
No.
I'm really working during days and nights
Nice.
very often.
True professional.
But for the moment, I'm still able to do that, so that's fine. And you know, I don't know how to explain, but they are my
therapy.
Can I say meditation? You know.
So your therapy to relax yourself. Oh no, I've seen Aerosmith once.
Well, some people are doing yoga. I'm just listening to Aerosmith. And that's the way I'm doing meditation.
And you're very passionate about the weddings. It is your life, isn't it? It's not like just a job to you. It's what you love doing, and it really does come across.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I've been doing this job for 11 years now.
11 years.
11.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think I couldn't be able to live without wedding and or events. I know, just event management, wedding management. I love that. I really love that.
And you just got married yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So did you obviously plan your own wedding? Did you call in all the suppliers you know and have a big do, or how did you? How was your wedding?
Oh, you're going to laugh. Because well, I was having a very, very hectic season, very intensive.
You just squeezed yours in.
Yeah, and my husband works a lot as well. Is in music, as well. So he's working a lot, he's traveling a lot. So we don't see each other very often. So I finished my season and I had to start the other one maybe 1 month after, So we just planned the wedding within 3 weeks. And and we decided just to take our parents with us, our children, our groomsmen, best man and maid of honor. And one day we say, okay, within 3 weeks, we are all in south of France and we are going to get married. We were 10 guests, 10 people.
Yeah,
we hired Ma Provençal, with a swimming pool in October, and we had a very, very nice weather. And we stayed during 3 days with a barbecue.
Oh my God, your photos looked amazing. I did see them.
So Katie was there. Katie was my photographer, I think Katie Webb, yeah. And this is a very, very nice girl, I love her so much. And she was with me for my photos. And that's why the photos are so amazing, because she did a very, very wonderful job.
Did you meet Katie at our networking event?
Yes.
See, and I was so happy when you came, because you'd actually flown in from Paris to our event, and the fact that the event went so well, made some great contacts out of that as well. Was just,
I met her there, and I stay all the time in contact with some people from your event.
Oh, fantastic!
Within 2 weeks, I'll be working again with George.
Oh, George with the photo booths.
Yeah.
I know, this is it, and this is why it's so great to do, come and chat to you all again, just keep me chatting with you all, and obviously promoting you the best way we can, and just being able to do these videos just to showcase to you brides, that everyone has got a really good role in France, and everyone puts their heart and soul into making these weddings absolutely amazing. And we all have now a passion for French weddings.
Yeah, and I think that it's very important. I really have the feeling, that especially with brides in France, that we are all like a team, like a small family. And I love that. I really, really love that. And that's very important, because I mean that when you have a couple coming from abroad and they need the best as suppliers, you know exactly who you can rely on. So you know how to who to contact to work with you, and you know that, well, the people you will select for your wedding will be the best anyway, and they will just provide the best of the best.
That's it. And most of our suppliers all come through recommendation. They're fully registered, all got amazing brands. They all work so hard. So having them all together and being able to connect them with brides and have English speaking suppliers as well. Again, I mean, like yourself, you've got suppliers that you work with that maybe aren't English speaking, but you speak 2-3 languages, so you're just perfect because you can communicate that for them. So yeah, having a whole team of people that are in one place and be able for the brides to come and have a look and just sort of know that they can communicate what they're wedding is. Again, thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'm just so glad that we're working with you and being able to tell everyone about your services and get to know you a little bit more, which I really do feel we've got to know you a little bit more. Black's your favourite colour because you love it, because you think it's elegant. I know that one.
But that's true. Have you seen that? I'm in black.
Exactly, you're in black, just as I said. So mine, it's one of my favourite colours too. And last of all, you love a Tarantino movie. Have you seen the latest one? You love a Tarantino movie?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Out yet?
No, because to be honest with you, my husband is an absolute fan. Okay, and he doesn't want me to go without him.
And you've got to wait for him to get back.
Yeah, and he's been traveling for 1.5 months now, so I'm waiting for a lot of time, and he's coming back at home today.
Thank you for talking to us today, and it has just been a real pleasure. And if anybody wants to contact you, they can obviously find you on the Brides in France page under wedding planners. Alexandra is one of our premium partners, so she'll be quite visible to you. So please go on there and contact Alexandra, and she can check her availability and help you plan your wedding.
Thank you so much.